Hey there, friend. Welcome back to Daily Dose Radio here in the Bible Bistro. So glad that you've joined me today as we study Psalm 35 and today 13 and 14. And this will conclude the first half of the Psalm, at least the first half of the Psalm as I have divided it. Of course, my divisions are my divisions. They're not, there's nothing to write about. There's no publishing my outlines here. I divide these things up so that I can teach, verse by verse. I want to get all the good stuff in. So today, 13 and 14, just a little review. So Psalm 35, a psalm of David. That's it. That's all we have. This psalm I've called it a prayer for the soul because the soul is in view here. The wicked man, he's attacking the soul. He prays that the Lord would protect his soul and deliver his soul. He talks about the salvation that he receives and how it is, rejoiced in by his soul. So the soul is marvelously in view. And then yesterday, we saw him say that he had done some good. Let me go back and look at that real quick. Yeah. Speaking of the wicked men, he says, they rewarded me evil for good to the spoiling of my soul. So the psalmist had done something good. We'll find out what that is today. So let me go ahead and read verses 13 and 14. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into mine own bosom. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. Okay, so you see the good that David is doing here. He loves this fellow. And I wonder if, since this is of David, if he could be talking about perhaps Saul. Maybe he's doing this good thing for Saul. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting. Because he loved him. And he was doing this thing for him. You see, this is how the believer behaves, right? This is how the believer behaves. The believer is not looking for vengeance and to prove themselves right. Even in the midst of persecution, this is what we do. We leave all the other stuff up to the Lord. But we behave towards each other in this way. Sick, prayer, fasting. He said, clothed with sackcloth. So he was really concerned. My prayer returned into mine own bosom. So he was praying for him as well, but something happened with the prayer. Prayer returned to the bosom. Didn't make it to heaven. I behaved myself as though he had been my friend or brother. Well, he knew starting out that he wasn't, but he acted as if he was, because that's what we do. Even when we know it's an enemy, even when we know there's nothing but persecution that's going to come out of it, still this is how we behave. I bowed down heavily as one that mourneth for his mother. Oh my goodness. So you see the contrition here. How he behaves towards this fellow, this wicked man who's persecuting him. So the good thing that David did, and you can see if he's responded to wickedly after behaving like this, well, my goodness. Well, we understand when he says the spoiling of my soul, because how wrong would it be? How abusive would it be for someone then to take issue with the psalmist and the ways acted, because he's acted honorably towards a man who apparently didn't deserve that kind of honor. Okay, well, next time we'll pick up there in verse 15, and we'll read 15 through the end of the chapter, or through the end of the psalm. So I hope that you'll join me then next time here on Daily Dose Radio.